Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, Westmoreland man charged with murder. A man from Westmoreland has been charged with murder after allegedly stabbing another man in the chest during an argument which led to his death. The deceased has been identified as 25-year-old Darrell Thomas, a bartender on Whitehall Avenue in the parish. The accused, 31-year-old Sadisi Johnson, otherwise known as TJ, resides in Whitehall Negril. According to reports, around 12:50 a.m. on Saturday, March 15, Thomas and Johnson were at an establishment when a dispute developed between the two. During the altercation, Johnson allegedly used a knife to stab Thomas to the right side of his chest. Thomas collapsed and fell to the ground, the report said. A team of police in the area quickly responded and apprehended Johnson, who was reportedly armed with a kitchen knife with what appeared to be blood stain. However, Thomas was rushed to the hospital where he succumbed to his injury while undergoing treatment. Johnson was formally charged on Wednesday, March 26. Two St. Mary men charged after seizure of alleged imitation gun and a lottery scamming info. Two men were arrested and charged after police operations in St. Mary on Thursday allegedly uncovered illegal firearms and evidence linked to lottery scamming activities. Delroy Simmons, 26, and Chadrick Higgins, 22, were taken into custody following searches of their residences in the Tremors, Worth, and the Dean Pen districts. Simmons has been charged with possession of prohibited weapons under the Firearms Prohibition Restriction and Regulation Act after law enforcement officers searched his premises between 5 a.m. and 7:45 a.m. They allegedly discovered two imitation firearms, one resembling a pistol and the other a revolver, along with a magazine, plastic pellets, and the spent casings. In a separate incident in the nearby Dean Pen district, Higgins was arrested and charged with possession of identity information under the Law Reform Fraudulent Transactions Special Provisions Act, also known as the Lottery Scam Law. During a search of his residence, police allegedly found a laptop and a mobile phone containing multiple Microsoft Excel documents with the contact details of individuals in the United States which are believed to be associated with lottery scamming activities. In addition, the police also seized $724,445, US $500, and a Canadian $20. Portmore man charged with a shooting at a trio. A 32-year-old St. Catherine man has been charged with 3 counts of shooting with intent, possession of a prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of ammunition, and unlawful wounding following a shooting incident in Christian Gardens in the parish last Friday. He has been identified as Romain Gilpin, otherwise known as Canik and Betty Betty of Queens Avenue in Gregory Park. The Greater Portmore Police reported that about 11:49 p.m., 3 persons were walking along the roadway when Gilpin approached them. He brandished a firearm and opened gunfire at the group. They ran to escape injury, however 2 of them fell to the ground. Gilpin advanced towards them and a tussle ensued. During the struggle, Gilpin repeatedly struck one of the 2 persons with a gun before escaping on foot. After the ordeal, the 3 victims made a report to the police. While at the police station, Gilpin turned up and was identified as the attacker. He was arrested and charged following a question and answer session. A court date for him is being finalized. Squash's U.S. court hearing moves to April. A hearing in a United States court for dancehall artist Squash that was originally set for March 26 has been moved to April 2. The 33-year-old DJ, whose real name is Andre Whitaker, has been in the custody of the FDC Miami in Florida since late February. The Miami-Dade County Court says that the arraignment hearing set for next month will determine the charges laid against him. He will also find out if he will get the chance to enter a plea and seek bail. Squash was detained earlier this year on charges of illegal possession of a modified firearm and carrying a concealed weapon without a permit. Motorists are urged to use new roads in St. Thomas with care. Concerned about the number of road fatalities in St. Thomas since the start of the year, Divisional Commander for the parish, Deputy Superintendent of Police Michael Campbell, has called on motorists to use the newly constructed roads with care. Speaking recently at the monthly sitting of the St. Thomas Municipal Corporation, the DSP said that since the start of the year, there have been 4 road fatalities. At the end of 2024, a total of 15 lives were lost due to motor vehicle accidents. I am appealing to the motoring public to use the roads in St. Thomas with care and courtesy for other road users because careless drivers are endangering other people's lives, DSP Campbell said. I've seen it almost every single day when I am out on the streets, he added, while pointing out that the police is aware of some taxi operators boasting of the speed at which they can reach Kingston and return, given the major improvements in the road network. The DSP said these operators must remember that the road network is still being rehabilitated. There are sections that are dug up from time to time, and as such, you will run into a place that you may have passed this morning and there was no hole. You're going back later and there is something there that will cause accidents, the commander cautioned. Under the multi-billion-dollar Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Program, the main road in St. Thomas is being given a major facelift. Most prominent is the Paul Bogle Highway that has in some parts been created into 4 lanes with traffic lights and other features, a first for the parish. Jamaica optimistic about the prospects for more positive U.S. travel advisory. The Jamaican government is cautiously optimistic about the outcome of the promised review by its U.S. counterpart of its travel advisory for the country. Foreign Affairs Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith, who welcomed the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio's commitment to review the advisory in light of a decline in Jamaica's murder rate, said on Thursday that while the country is optimistic, ever-changing metrics have forced the government to err on the side of caution. The latest advisory issued July 20 last year urged American travelers to reconsider travel to Jamaica due to crime, with increased risk in some areas. The advisory, ranked at a level 3, outlined to U.S. citizens that they should not expect the same level of health care available in Jamaica as they are accustomed to in the United States. It also encouraged the travelers' insurance, including medical evacuation insurance, before traveling. Meanwhile, Minister Johnson-Smith reiterated in an interview that the controversial Cuban medical mission in Jamaica is under review to ensure the program is properly administered. She strongly denied that there was any contemplation of ending the program. Rather, it was being reviewed to streamline some areas of technical cooperation.
The most recent one had upgraded us on health but not on crime, and our efforts have therefore been targeted on having the issue of crime reviewed in light of the progress that we've been making. So to hear the Secretary say that not only in our private meeting but to publicly repeat his commitment to have it reviewed and to ensure that it does in fact reflect our current circumstances. These things are never guaranteed because we kept hearing about this rubric. You would meet one position and then you would hear something else has changed. We're hoping that there'll be a more systematic and predictable approach now. Having met with the Secretary, we have engaged with the U.S. on it. Throughout the Caribbean, clearly everyone's program appears to be slightly different in terms of how it operates.
So are you saying that a part of that revision process could in fact result in the end of our association with Cuba as it relates to health?
I don't know how you got that out of it at all. No, I'm saying that our program was under review and we're taking in any event, meaning every 3 years, every 2 years, etc. There's a renewal because sometimes they do rotations, the needs may have changed. Remember, it's not just nurses and doctors. And in fact, we're merging the ophthalmology and the medical program together, which is why the agreement has taken a little more time to review. So we're making sure it's being administered in the best way possible. But nobody was talking about terminating anything.
Okay.
Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.